So you want to start collecting Disney Cars diecasts. Let's talk about 2009. A year where the Cars diecast line really expanded and kind of just exploded. This year proved that the Disney Cars diecast line was here to stay. As it adapted and changed, and those adaptations and those parts were adapted and those changes were quickly dropped, but still, 2009 was a huge year. Such a huge year for the Cars diecast line that I need to cut this episode into 3 parts. So, sorry about that, guys. Anyway, though, let's get started. Let me just basically overview this. The 2009 diecast line was notable for 3 things. Up first, the Race-O-Rama collection, named after a video game. Or the video game was named after that. I have no idea. This was the diecast main line for 2009, but 2009 also brought in the Storytellers collection, a diecast line I was originally going to feature here, but it's really, really incredible and has some of the best packaging I've ever seen. So that's going to be its own part. And finally, the lenticulars are introduced. These guys with moving eyes. And, yeah, these are eventually going to get their own episode. The lenticulars will eventually have their own episode, but the lenticulars released in 2009 will get their own episode. And then I'll do a separate video on just what a lenticular car is. I'll probably do that before this one releases, before that part releases. But for today, we're just going to be going over the main Race-O-Rama line. Next time, I'll probably go over the lenticulars, and after that, we'll go over the Storytellers collection. Anyway, guys, let's get started here by taking a look at the packaging. As you can see here, the packaging was very nice this year, but the back of the packaging was basically blank with nothing but a "Meet my friend," and then some other car featured for that. I really like the look of this packaging with its Dinoco field. Basically, it's, I believe, the inside of the LA Speedway. You can see a Dinoco tent in the background and a very nice field. That's why it's the Dinoco field. I just connected those 2 things. This year also began a major push for the World of Cars online game, a game that's no longer up as of like 2012. But for quite a while, it had a major push throughout the diecast line with every car including a code, but as you can see right there, subject to cancellation, December 31st of 2009. So, about that, yeah. This year was also the first time that cars were organized into series, something that we see a whole lot nowadays. However, the series were a whole lot less organized, with them instead being organized by ticket color. The cars' name tags this year were on tickets, and depending on the color of the ticket, that would depend on, the color of the ticket would depend on what series the car was from. But once again, there wasn't like an official name for the series. They were very unorganized and not as official or professional as the series that the diecast line nowadays is split up into. Now let's go on to what's new. Well, chases like Impound Lightning McQueen here became much more common. Well, meanwhile, some previously released cars were re-released with chase packaging. I don't have any of these. I'm hoping to pick some up in the future. But it was basically to make the packaging look much nicer and be a little rarer. Cars who got this treatment include Chucky and Mario Andretti, as well as a few others. A couple chases were also given confetti on their blisters. On the bubbles, confetti was painted on, which is another really, really odd choice. One version of Lightning released this year, Night Vision Lightning McQueen, included as its main selling gimmick a 2009 diecast collector guide. I actually have this, but the first few pages are ripped off. Also, I'm adding this portion in editing, and I gotta get this video up, so I can't put together any clips of me showing you guys the inside of the pamphlet, but maybe I'll do that for a special episode in the future. But this book does contain a whole lot of diecasts that never made it to shelves. Moving on, the short cards became much more common, and another Kmart K-Day was held. This time around, though, the cars released there were given rubber tires. These mark the first ever rubber tire cars, which is still a promotion done to this day. They released a whole ton of Piston Cup racers, large majority of them. In fact, 16 of them were released there with rubber tires at Kmart events or exclusive to Kmart. Then we got my favorite type of launcher this year, the Lightyear launcher. Very cool style of launcher, shaped like a tire. And this was the first year for haulers. Currently, all haulers are exclusive to Walmart, but back in the day, they used to be wide retail. Many of these are extremely rare now. I'll just be showing you guys Mac on screen. These are definitely some notable releases. I would put them in the notable releases section, but I don't have any of them. And in that notable releases section, I like showing you guys cars I do have. 3-packs, once again, continue to become much, much more common and a great way to get exclusive cars. Piston Cup Crew 4-packs, including 3 Pitties and a Crew Chief, all of which are very rare now. I'm lucky enough to have the Leakless pack of this. Got released. And that's pretty much it for the normal diecast line. So let's go over some of this year's notable releases. Some of the notable releases in 2009 include this chase right here of Impound Lightning McQueen. They also released DJ Boost, Wingo, and Snotrod, all with impound boots just like Lightning here. Here's Dave Alternators. I don't have many of the Cars 1 Piston Cup racers, but I am just showing you him just for reference here. Because he was released that year with rubber tires. We got Van released in 2008, but it took until 2009 to see Minnie get released. And her no eyelids, I don't know, she looks really creepy to me. One of the rarest cars I own and one of the rarest ones released that year, Race Damaged the King, has got to be among some of my all-time favorite diecasts. He's really an amazing one. And as the deluxe or mega size line, as it was called back then, continued to flourish and the release of haulers began, we saw the release of many hauler cabs here. You could just pick them up without their trailers. This is Gray, the King's cab. I very clearly broken off both of his mirrors and one of the pipes on the back. These used to be able to connect to trailers, but now this hole here is sadly plugged up. Here's Elvis RV, another one of my all-time favorite diecasts here. He was also in the mega size line. And finally, another favorite of most collectors and a whole lot of kids, Frank. Got his first release this year, and oh man, is Frank awesome or what? To this day, he remains definitely one of the coolest diecasts and one of the most playable ones. He's got all these cool features here and everything. Very awesome. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Probably for a video on what a lenticular diecast is. If it's not that, then it'll probably be part 2 of this episode. And if it's not that, it'll probably be the next episode on character variants. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.